What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin podcast. Jack, how you doing, man?
Amazed by the intro. I didn't even know that was a thing. That threw me off. I'm like, a countdown. I
Yep,
feel
we
like
got
I
a
was
countdown now.
at a big meeting at work. I was like, oh.
Yep, throwing in the countdown. StreamYard, big ups, thank
Okay,
you.
that's what's
Um,
up.
yeah. So this week, people, if you can tell by the title, please keep your expectations in check. We're not going to be really, you know, I don't think I'm gonna be talking too much BS today. But
Why
before
not?
before we get into the usual stuff, uh, please, if you like what we're doing here, please leave a like, share, subscribe, all those good stuff. Tell your family, your friends. We are PG mostly.
On a good day.
PG-13 ish.
Yeah.
We're not as dark as DCEU, but we're
Nah, man, we ain't that close.
yeah, we ain't that
But
close.
nah.
but we're family friendly ish.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, family friendly ish. What's up, Trinell? How you doing, man? Chat is always open, but please like, share, subscribe, all the other good stuff. We got you guys know I do reviews and all that stuff. I'm trying to make sure I get on a more consistent basis with my reviews. Just did a review for Hawkeye episode 3 with Vicky from Fangirl Review, so please check that out when you have a chance. Also, before we get started, our good buddy Sandstorm Dial, who's usually on our podcast, he could not make it tonight, so he wanted me to let you guys know that did you all know Thursday is the Game Awards. We will be doing our annual live reaction / roast / hopefully Yosef goes off again uh, reactions. But Sandstorm is going to have a podcast on the next night, on Friday night the 10th. He's going to have a pretty big guest list. Please make sure you stop by. Sandstorm's a stand-up guy out here in these gaming YouTube streets. So please support his channel. Please make sure you stop by. So first thing we're going to talk about, the hype surrounding the Game Awards.
Yay!
So the Game Awards is December 9th. Matter of fact, let's go and share out to the website so you guys can see what in the world we're talking about here. The thing is, you guys know how we do here at the Winging It podcast. We love ourselves some our good buddy Jeff Keighley. He's a awesome individual who
a staple in the gaming community.
Stable in the gaming community. So yeah, the Game Awards is live December 9th from the Microsoft Theater once again. Now, look, whether you love or hate the Game Awards, you have to admit that it's nice to actually have an award show for the gaming community. Even if sometimes it's clear that there's favoritism.
I'm about to say there's an asterisk next to that. You know, I mean, there's other awards, of course, but you know, this is kind of like the big dog.
Yeah, this is like the big dog, especially if you're in North America. Like, this is the big one for us anyway. Like I said, sometimes it is very, very obvious that there's favoritism going on, and I understand that to an extent because hey, you gotta pay for this somehow. I think people don't understand. Jeff Keighley is not no billionaire.
Nah.
So you got to get advertised. You got to get people to donate and stuff so you can get these shows off the ground. And it is what it is. We're going to be talking about something that I think a little bit later in regards to this, but I just wanted people to know, please keep your expectations in check. Yes, there is going to be some hyping up going around. Because I think he said that he has over 50 world premieres. I'll believe it when I see it.
But we know how that works, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they've been doing this awards show since 2009 or 10, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
Because it first started on Spike TV.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when Spike had its issues, they got off of Spike TV and they did YouTube only with that first year. I think it was 2012 or 13, and that was just horrible. Boy, was that horrible. Then it got progressively better as they figured out how they wanted to do it, and the format got stapled down, so it got a little bit better. But please keep your hype in check because I got a bad feeling that all of these world premieres are going to be stuff we seen back in back at E3. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not phased when he says he has all these world premieres. I'm like, you do realize I watch more than just E3. I watch Paris Game Show sometimes. Sometimes I watch like the Tokyo Game Show when I can catch certain stuff. So if you say it's a world premiere, and I saw it in September, that's not a world premiere.
It should be a North American premiere because sometimes it's not a world premiere. But I mean, honestly, with that show, I'm glad he does what he does. I think last year they got pretty good about doing away with a lot of those bands and the little music segments, which I mean, it's cool for people there, but I don't really care.
I mean, I don't care if you have one or two, but it needs to be game related. And like I think the year before, they had like 4 or 5, and only one of them was game related. Like bro.
And like you said, I mean, we understand if I can get such and such to play here, and they're gonna fund it or bring eyes to it, then for sure, I understand.
You got to do it.
Right, because I mean, as gamers, I mean, we're not going to fund it like that. So I mean, when it comes down to it, you got to have some big wigs make it happen. So you got to entice them. So I tell anybody when last year when they introduced Netflix gaming, I'm like okay, that's just what
Netflix is a $1 billion company. So if they're gonna give you, they're gonna break you off 25 mil.
Right. So Netflix
I'm gonna take
be there. Amazon gonna be there. Google gonna be there. So I mean, those are the big wigs, and they have to fund it for us to be able to enjoy it and for it to be at the height of what it is. Because I mean, it's a somewhat well put together show. At least it looks great. Being shot live, 4K, the whole 9 yards, and be able to make those transitions and have the interviews, and that's a lot of money. And I mean, just for someone that does something inside of the home, and as well, microphones and stuff like that ain't cheap. So it's just the stuff that you wouldn't think was expensive. That's it'll cost you thousands.
It can get very expensive
very fast, especially if you want great quality. So just to see that and to have everybody actually show up, because I mean, you can do all this and nobody show up, that can be a huge problem. So
which I think is what happened in like 2015 when they was at the Microsoft Theater and like there was nobody in there. And I'm like, stop panning the camera around.
And people were in there asleep.
Keep it in front. There's always going to be somebody asleep in there because of the simple fact, because last year it was like 2 people asleep. I'm like, bruh, stop focusing on these people. It's like the last thing, because they were doing Game of the Year. Now, at this point, over on the East Coast, it's like 12:30. I'm like, this is going on too damn long. Get to the damn point. We all know it's going to be Death Stranding, even though it wasn't, which surprised the hell out of everybody, including the people that won.
Oh, it's running back this year, though.
So I was sitting back there.
Slide it in there. Like, well, we didn't say it was a nominee, but we just go throw it in there.
It's going to win it out of you. Kojima's getting an award. One way or another.
My boo going to get an award. I'm like, all right, Jeff. Gotcha.
But it's one of those situations because, all right, look, we've all had our fun with the Game Awards. That's why I don't understand why people are mad. I'm like, dude, all y'all gonna do is make fun of it anyway.
That's where I get my enjoyment.
I'm like, So, hey, what's up, Andre, man? Yeah, we kind of figured you was having some issues, so
Hopefully you're ready by the 9th.
Yeah, and just so I let everybody know, yes, our annual live reaction will be December 9th. I'm trying to figure out what time we're going to start, and I will let everybody know on Twitter and in my Discord. I'm trying to let everybody know by Wednesday. So this year we're going to be doing it via here. I know a couple years ago we did it via Discord. Right. And I think we had a pretty good turnout via Discord. I think there was a lot of people just coming in and dropping in and out. Right. So I don't know how I plan to do that with the Discord thing, but I may not do it via Discord. I may just do it here. But I'll let everybody know on Twitter and Discord how we're going to plan on doing this. So if you do want to drop in and just hang with us for a little bit, because once again, I envision this show being a very long show. So
it's going to be a long show. You already know.
So if you want to drop in for like 20, 30 minutes, I don't have a problem sending you a link if you want to drop in. I really don't, because we just try to have a good time as
Right.
far as if you watch this show for the past couple years, you already know that. We're just trying to have a good time. We don't mean to hurt nobody. So yeah. But yeah, we will be live, and I'm thinking we're probably gonna go live probably around 15 minutes before the pre-show start, just because I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some ridiculousness there too. The other thing though, I hope that because last year one of my main complaints with the show was they had like major categories you thought would be major done, done in the pre-show or done off camera, and you're like, wait a minute, like best fighter should be on camera.
Yeah.
Don't do that this year. Make the main still like perfect example. Where's that list at? Matter of fact,
put the esports stuff on the pregame, because I don't know too many people that know all the esports scene like that.
Yeah. So here's the the nominees and stuff, like best narrative, best what is it, content creator of the year, the esports one, like you said, that could be done on the pre-show.
So I think they typically do those like in passing. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're getting ready to go to the next one, but before we get there, real quick, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, here's who won this like content creator of the year.
Right.
That needs to be done on the pre-show or during that. That's when you can do it. Now, if you want somebody to see their speech or whatever, y'all can throw that on YouTube.
Right.
Or Twitch or whatever. But like best score, best art direction, best AR, VR, action game, action adventure, that stuff needs to be on camera. I just believe it needs to be on camera. I don't know about y'all. Y'all tell me in the chat. Do y'all think that should be on camera or what? Y'all let me know. Because me, I just don't think it should be like that. Matter of fact, who's on the jury this year?
I didn't even look.
Okay, I wasn't gonna look. Ars Technica. I actually like this stuff. They have good articles. They done saved me a bunch of times.
Right.
Engadget, don't care. Entertainment Weekly, really
need money and attention.
Games Radar, need money. Game Informer, oh my god, IGN. Gamer Tag Radio, I don't know them.
Me either. I never heard of them either.
IGN, oh boy. LA Times, need money.
Yeah,
Newsweek, need money.
Yeah,
Kinda Funny,
need
Ain't
money.
That Greg Miller?
Yeah, that's Greg and them. Yeah.
Oh hell no. Inverse, don't know who that is. PC Gamer, understandable. Screen Rant, not really understandable. Venture Beat, okay. Polygon, as much as I don't like Polygon, I get it.
Yeah, they got that widespread.
Yeah, that's what Vice, same reason. I understand. Yep. What's Good Games?
Never even heard of them.
Yeah, Wired, I understand. Need money. The Verge, need money. Okay. I mean,
so it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Jury makes sense. Oh boy, let's see what's Thunder about. Not with the media kid, don't care. Jeff Keighley, don't care. Advisory board. Oh, okay. So here's where we're gonna have our first serious discussion of the night.
Hey, he up there again.
Hey, Doug Bowser. All right. So first of all, let's go through this. The CEO of AMD. Okay, cool. Chief Operating Officer EA. You see, they didn't put the CEO of EA.
Hey,
hey, Kojima.
That's what I said. Hey, my man Kojima gonna be there every year, bro. He gonna be there every year.
Not surprised in the slightest. Phil Harrison still looking like a Bond villain. Epic Games makes sense. Phil Spencer, everybody's favorite. Doug Bowser, he needs to wear a Bowser t-shirt at all times. Mark Merrill, I actually don't mind Mark Merrill. He's actually a few interviews I've seen him on. He's actually pretty cool. Sony, of course, Sony's going to be in there. Rockstar, Tencent.
What does that mean, though?
Huh?
What does that mean? Like with them just putting whole companies up there?
I guess they're gonna have a representative. They just don't say who the representative is because they probably haven't. Okay. They probably haven't as of whenever they put this page up. They probably haven't said who's going yet.
Right.
They're probably playing Smash Bros. To figure out who's gonna go. So we got Yeeves. He's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Valve will be there, but Half-Life won't.
Exactly. I only saw one issue, and that's anything from EA.
Yeah.
I said, if you can't get your game together, you don't have time to vote. I'm gonna need you to you to work on your damn game. You got work to do.
Yeah, you got work to do. So
that's just like you outside playing, but you got homework to do. I'm gonna need you to get back in the house.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so let's go on and talk about this guy. Not this particular guy, but
that company,
Activision. Yeah. And let me cut the sharing off because that's not Bobby Kotick. So here's the thing. So people, we all know about the issues that Activision has. All right. Mm-hmm. And I understand why people are upset with Jeff having them on the board. I can understand that. I empathize.
Right.
Here's the problem. It's like I said before at the beginning of this. Jeff Keighley ain't no billionaire.
Not even close.
He needs money to get this show financed and all that other good stuff. Mm-hmm. Activision is a major player in gaming, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
I don't condone the actions that they did, but from a business standpoint, I understand why Jeff Keighley can't say nothing.
Right.
I understand it. I mean, and for the people mad at Bobby Kotick, here's the thing. I don't know what kind of contract he has. Most companies are not going to tell you. This ain't NFL. This ain't NBA. This ain't MLB where you find out what the contract of players are, which I still think is a breach.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand why they let people know how much they making because that's nobody's business.
Right.
Because if you do that in any other company,
right,
you're in trouble.
No, most companies won't even tell you before they hire you.
Yeah,
you got to find out when you get in the interview.
Yeah, you find out what the thing is when you get there. If you get that. The thing is with Bobby Kotick, the reason why he isn't gone, in my opinion, is it probably has something to do with that severance package and how much they're going to have to pay out if they force him out.
Yep.
A company like Activision is not going to pay that man a lot of money if they force him out. This would be like, no, we're not doing that. We're just not going to do that. I understand, but to my knowledge, he was not involved in any of that was going on.
Right. At least I didn't hear anything.
Was he running Activision at the time the stuff went on? Yes. But it's one of those situations where he needed to tighten he needed to be better at running his ship. He obviously was not. He let some stuff slip through the cracks. That's it. But because I've been saying this, and I know we said it when we first covered it, dude. When you saw how what happened with Ubisoft, Yeeves got rid of them immediately. I'm like, that's how you're supposed to handle it. Because you can't say now that you don't know that this stuff happens. You can't say that now.
Right. You don't have time for it now.
You don't have time for it. The second they act up, they're gone.
They have to.
The second they act up, like you can't even joke around and be like, oh, making like somebody on Blizzard made a joke at one of the game pressers, and I'm like, dude, are you crazy?
Yeah, that's one of those things you can't afford to linger around with. Like, of course, everybody wants just do in the sense of like, okay, give them a fair shake, let them explain, but the longer that lingers, the worse it gets.
That's why, like, unfortunately nowadays, you have to, as soon as you do your due diligence, you find out that some stuff went on, you got to get rid of them.
You got to shut it down.
Yep. Now, did Bobby Kotick do that? No, he didn't. He didn't. But from what I understand and from what I've read, he was not personally involved, which is probably why, like I said, Activision probably not going to get rid of him because I'm pretty sure it has to do with that severance package and whatever in that contract.
Right.
Now, once his contract runs out, you best believe he's gone.
Yeah, he'll retire.
He'll move on to find better opportunities.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen. But right now they can't. I'm pretty sure you probably got 2-3 more years on it. That's why that's another. Because if it was just a year, they'd probably be like, okay, we can get rid of him, pay him this because we'll make it back off Call of Duty.
Right.
We'll make it back off Call of Duty if we're going to get rid of him and bring back a couple other things. And we still got Bungie They still kind of have to give us royalties off of Destiny 1 and 2 and
Right.
certain stuff. So we'll still make some money off that. And but that's what I'm thinking. It's a little bit longer than a year because that's just, and this is just me speculating about the contract because once again, you're not going to know that unless you're in there and you sign the NDA if you're in those type of board meetings, so you can't tell nobody nothing.
Right.
But that's why he ain't gone. So if you're mad about him, about the Game Awards still having Activision on there, I don't know what to tell you. But they were going to be there regardless.
Yeah,
they were going to be there regardless. And like I said, I agree with some of y'all. I just think some of y'all don't understand how business works. I really
the
think
nature of business.
I think a lot of people in gaming don't understand how business works. They really don't.
I mean,
now
they'll say, care.
Yeah, they really don't care until it's something until they're against something. Then they pretend like they care. But I just don't think y'all. I just don't think gamers really understand unless you've been in a corporation or or you taking business classes. Unfortunately, I've done both.
Right.
Me too. So it's one of those situations where you're like, yeah, dude, like there's a lot of stuff you can't say.
No.
There's a lot of stuff you're not gonna know. That's why people get mad about Nintendo and like Sony not saying certain stuff. It's because they can't.
You can't.
Every time you hear about these leaks and nobody gets fired, that means the company leaked it.
Right. Exactly.
Like perfect example when Sega and whoever did that first Sonic trailer and that horrible Sonic came out. I can promise you that was done on purpose because that's not the one they wanted to go with. That's not the model they wanted to go with. I was talking to Mr. T about that when it happened. And Mr. T like, dude, they have literally thousands of
different variants.
There's no way in the world that they pushed it back just because of fan out. No, they let it go through. So whoever was okay in it could see that nobody likes this, so they got to put the one they wanted.
Yeah, sometimes you got to let people speak because they ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah, because the people in charge is paying the money, ain't trying to hear that, and you're like, okay, you're not here trying to hear it, put it on out.
Right, let them people hear it. You know what I mean? So that's what. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it all comes down to quite a few things. I mean, because just not too long ago, we were in this big crunch situation where everybody was all up in arms about people having to work and sleep in the office, and you have to look at that from two different ways. Like, I don't know a job that you don't work overtime. I don't know a single job you don't work overtime. But then you also have to factor in too, with a lot of things, this applies to where you have to speak to the individual. Because I'll tell anybody, I mean, yes, there's times where, with my job, I will work at home overtime because I want to get something done. No one made me do anything.
Yeah.
And you have to understand within the gaming industry, I would imagine the people that are in that industry want to be in that industry. So if I'm working overtime, it's because I'm doing something that I love to do. Does it suck? Yeah, but I mean, I'm working on something I love to work on at the same time where I'm being a part of the team to get it done. And that's just what it is. You looking from the outside in is out of context. You have to really look at it in the form of a certain context. If you didn't hear, Billy Joe and such down the street say, "Oh, this is ridiculous. We don't ever get to do X, Y, and Z," then okay, I hear you. But you can't look at it from a standpoint of somebody just doing a random report saying, "Oh, well, they worked 90 plus hours in this time frame and they're doing a time crunch." Okay, that's the reporter's job to do that. I don't know why they reported it, but nonetheless, you didn't hear it from the workers.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it.
And just being in IT, if you've ever been around a development team, that's why I don't code, because that job is way too stressful for me.
I heard about that.
That job is way too stressful for me. But those guys, they a lot of times, unless they just have a lot of most times it has to do with the contract or whatever. If they just have a lot of time to go back and polish and do all that, normally they are working under deadlines, like really strenuous deadlines.
Yes.
But if you're a developer, that's part of the job criteria,
right?
Unfortunately, including web development, all of that. It's how it's how you project plan and all of that. It's a lot of differing factors, like you said. And unless you know that contract, unless you know what you're working for, or the ins and outs, the particulars, I don't know. Now, crunch is bad, especially if they're saying like, okay, look, we didn't have enough time. Like, it's not a situation where we already had it planned out, but then they came in and changed it. That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
That is different. But if it's planned out and like, okay, we're finishing up, we got everything done, we're polishing, but we found a couple different bugs, so we got to work late or overtime to fix those. That comes with the territory.
I don't know too many people that haven't been in that situation to where you get called into a room and as a team and they like, hey, we got some bad news. The project got bigger than we thought. So it's going to require a lot more time and a lot more effort. So plan on staying here a little bit later, blase. It happens.
It happens to everybody. I mean, my job now, like they don't like overtime, but if we have to do those trainings and all that, they just say do that there and do your job at work. Just do the trainings, and we'll just have to pay you for that because there's not enough time in a day, and you can't work 24 hours a day. But if the training is mandatory, you got to get it done.
You got to get it done.
So, hey, we just gonna have to pay all that 3-4 hours of overtime that we don't want to have to pay, but we got to do it. So
yeah, I mean, like I said,
everybody does it.
People get to a point to where they start developing this weird relationship with gaming industries and companies. Because I mean, honestly, I think you guys know it better than I do in the sense of names, whether it's like actors or developers and things like that. I know the development team, but I don't know like certain individuals. So, but I think people start creating and forming relationships with them. And even though you've never spoken to the person, you never met the person, they start making these ties in a way, like these little ghost ties. And so when you hear something about them, it's kind of like the Kojima situation. You know what I'm saying? People were like, yo, it's Kojima. Konami's the problem. Blase. Like, they fall in love with someone through their work, which is something that most of us do, whether it's music or movies or whatever. But I don't ever take it personal. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like what we were talking about off record with the whole R. Kelly situation. Like, we don't condone what he did, but I mean, his music is his music. Like, it's just it is.
Especially if you're a fan of like stuff from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, you don't want to know what they did.
You don't want to know, and that's the biggest problem, because I think I express this with a lot of people I talk to. You have to learn how to separate the two. Like, you cannot. It's the same thing with wrestling. If I go somewhere and I see Big E, I'm not treating Big E like he is on WWE. Like, I'm going to treat him like a human being. Like, I'm not going to, hey, he eating? Give me my autograph right now. Like suplex the hell out of me. But I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you got to separate the entertainment or the job from the person. I think that's what a lot of people fail to do. Like, I love the company Image and Form. I mean, I'm no matter what the reviews are, I'm going to go play the gunk. But if the gunk gets a bad review, I'm not just going to go out my way to those reviewers and just harass them because they gave my favorite company or my favorite developer a bad review score. Like, people got to learn how to separate the two.
Yeah, there's a difference between legitimate criticism and a difference between my favorite YouTuber, my favorite website, said that this sucked, but then, but when you talk, but when you actually ask them about the game, they don't say anything about the game
at all. Like, at all. And Andre's right. Like, people have to stop treating us like it's their friend. And it's just what it is. I like today, because when you and I were setting up the Discord stuff, and I told you I had to take my microphone back, right?
Yeah.
So I got a brand new microphone and everything works fine. Everything's cool. But when I was looking at the reviews of it, for the simple fact that it was a certain YouTuber, people dismissed it completely. But then if you watch certain other YouTubers, they went in depth with the review. They tested it. All of a sudden, this guy literally says, I looked at it. I listened to it. I did this. I don't like it. So people just dismissed it. And I'm like, I have my favorites too. Like,
but
I don't go like 100%. Like, even with you, you've put me on a few games that I paid no attention to. But nonetheless, I still did my due diligence and kind of went and looked more into it to just make sure for sure that was something I like, because I don't like spending money on nothing. But
I will tell anybody the reason why I do my live streams the way I do my streams, or gaming the way I do my gaming, is I'm not gonna play the whole game and put it on there, because I want gaming to thrive, which means spend your money just like I did.
Right.
The other thing is, if it's a fun game, I'd let you know.
Yeah.
But I want you to go to somebody else too. Don't just take my word for it because you might not like RPGs. I'm loving Ruin King right now. I love Ruin King. But if you don't like turn-based RPGs, I'm not gonna tell you to. I'm not gonna tell you to get that. No. But I like it, and I've done like a few live streams of it, and I'm like, yeah, I think people would enjoy it. But if you don't like that style of game, why would I tell you to get it?
Exactly.
No, you don't like that. That's like me trying to tell people. That's like somebody getting mad at me because I don't like Animal Crossing. I just don't like Animal Crossing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm like, but I'm not going to tell somebody else, oh, you shouldn't play that. No, if you like stuff like that, go for it. Now, I will make fun of the whole, Godfather Pimp Raccoon, but
hey, you know it is what it is.
And people have gotten mad at us on this podcast because we've made jokes about that. I'm like, bro, I don't mean it literally. I'm just telling a joke. Like,
you better than me because I wouldn't even explain it. Because I would tell them shut the hell up because it's not that serious. You like the game, and I get it because I've said it before. People like to live vicariously through you, and they want you to like what they like. But like, because my biggest video is literally me unboxing a Nintendo Lite. And I'm like, really? And then you start thinking about all the effort that you put in your other videos. But at the end of the day, people are like, well, you didn't like this? And I had a comment, like, mind you, that video is a year old. I got a comment yesterday on the video. And I'm like,
I've had that happen too.
And so they was like, well, why didn't you like this? I'm because I didn't. Like, I explained it. Like, I didn't just come in here and say, you know what? The light grip sucks. Next video. Like, I didn't do that. I explained it. But people want you to like what they like because sometimes I think it's buyer impulse sometimes. Like even with this PS5, I know people hating it the moment they got it. They can't because they felt like they spent way too much money on little of nothing right now.
Yeah.
Shadow,
what is up, man?
What's going on with y'all?
Oh, not much. We were just about to get to your favorite topic.
Oh no, I didn't do it. I promise you I didn't do it.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have commented you shouldn't have commented on Twitter. So serious question of the week, and you guys can blame Shadow for this. If your favorite game developer had a scandal like Activision, would you still buy their game? So I'm gonna let you start off, Shadow.
Y'all already know where this goes. Essentially, and this is what I put on Twitter was, if you're a consumer, right, your whole goal is you want to buy the product that's made, right? Mm-hmm. You don't really. I don't care that. Well, I do care a little bit that Volkswagen swindled, hundreds of thousands of Americans in the way they decided to manufacture their cars, and they intentionally had fake catalytic converters in there where there was a lot of O2 in them or whatever, because the result was cheaper cars at the time, right? Of course, they recalled and they fixed it or whatever, but that was a whole situation where you defrauded the American people and as customers for your product because you wanted to buy your foreign your foreign vehicle, if you will, to make certain things happen. The thing about Activision, though, dealing with this, Bobby Kotick in particular has been, how can I say this?
An ass.
He's been an ass, and he's been suspect from way back in the 3DO days. He's been this much of an ass. So I don't know why all of a sudden now people were magically thinking that, oh, these harassment situations. I'm like, bruh, this dude been this bad since he was riding around with Dietrich back in the day, trying to figure out how, well, hey, 3DO's coming out, EA's our rival, so we got to figure out a way to, like, it's just, he's been that bad for this long. Right. So I don't know how to think about it other than, not that I really am that big of a fan of Activision games of late anyway. Right. But if it came down to it, because somebody, they try to put me in a pigeonhole there, and they just say, hey, if Nintendo did all this stuff, would you still buy Nintendo's games? And the answer fundamentally is yes, because they make the fuck out of really good games. So I don't really care as far as the company as a whole. Now, if they're fostering it and they're internally saying, "Yeah, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it," yes, I'm gonna think twice about it. But if it's one individual in the company that did it, I'm not counseling the whole company,
right?
And not because I'm like, they got new guys coming up, that they got new kids coming into Nintendo now, making great games like Splatoon and whatnot and ARMS. Like, I'm going to be buying that shit. Yeah. So I don't know why anybody would, excuse my French, but you get my point. So if let's say Yamamuchi was accused of this in, say, the late 90s or whatever. Okay, cool. I don't like Nintendo until he's gone. All right? Mm-hmm. They make a statement and say, he's out of here. We don't adhere to these values, and he's gone. Okay, at that point, then I'm like, all right, let's see what Nintendo does, and then I'm behind that. Activision, because, I mean, as far as CEOs go anyway, their whole goal is short-term profit. They don't give a flying freak about what this guy does from one day to the next, as long as those spreadsheets look good and the investors get their dividends at the end of the month.
Right.
Because they get them December 30th, right? I think it's December 30th, December 31st, yeah. Yes.
And so Andre put something in the chat saying, yeah, so why should we starve developers, if something like that happens? Because that's all bad, because now you got people that are really grinding out here to make this product, and you know how crunch is. So these guys are working anywhere between 120 to 200 hours a week, if that even exists, right? To make a product last minute, and you counsel them, don't sell the game, and then they get fired from the project because somebody else way up high that made way too much money decided to be extra with some secretary somewhere. Right. So that's like all of Namco Bandai being disbanded because Itagaki was an ass 10 years ago. Yeah. Nobody cares. Like, he's okay, cool. He felt on some girl in a limousine long time ago or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, he should be canceled. Mm-hmm. Just him. That doesn't mean every single person that's worked on every single one of his games is now a bad person.
Yeah. All right.
So I think that's the other thing that I think people need to get through their heads. Like we said a little bit earlier, I'm like, look, do I believe Bobby Kotick should be gone? Yes, but the problem is I don't know what's in his contract, and I don't know what his severance package look like.
And he's got it bent.
And I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm betting he has like 2 or 3 years left on that contract, and Activision is not willing to eat it, because I promise you, I'm betting it's between 150 to 200 $200 million. They're gonna have to pay this man if they get him out of there. Now, the difference is what Ubisoft did back in a few years ago when they had their problem with remember they had their HR staff was acting up. Yep. Jeeves got rid of the entire HR staff and rehired. That's how you do it. When you do your due diligence and you found out they was on that BS, you fired everybody right there. Right. And that's why nobody got mad at Ubisoft, because he went and he found out and he handled it. The problem with Activision is these fools not only let the junk go on, they had a whole damn room called the Bill Cosby Suite. At that point,
boy, you can't paint it no better than that.
At that point, you like, okay, bruh. Even if I'm giving y'all the benefit of the doubt, every last one of y'all fired. Mm-hmm. Every last one of y'all that's in that room, and the person who took the damn picture, whoever took the damn picture, they going too. Because there ain't no way in the world you gonna stay in my company and do this. No, y'all gone. But Activision got a bad look because there was a con that happened when somebody brought it up, and 3 of the dudes on the stage just laughed it off. And I'm like, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. I'm like, they just straight laughed it off. And I'm like, yeah. When I saw that video, I'm like,
yeah, that's not a go.
Yeah, y'all asking for it.
That's why I tell people, not everybody was brought up the same way, because a lot of people think it is funny. Like, they just brush it off. Like, it ain't a big deal.
Like, this ain't funny, dude. Like, you talking about people here. This ain't funny. But to your point, all right, so what about everybody else is working there? Yeah. Like, look, I haven't bought an EA game, but I have a personal gripe with EA. They got rid of Tiburon. To hell with y'all. So, so
the team that knew what they were doing
is gone. So why do I gotta? I'm not supporting y'all. Y'all got rid of the one team I actually liked. So,
go figure, they were really good at making Nintendo versions of games.
which is another reason why you should have kept him, because that would have been the team. I was just that's what y'all doing from now on.
It makes too much sense.
Yeah, but that's me personally. If I liked EA, let's say I liked Madden. Oh God, but just say I actually liked Madden. I can't get mad at something that Riticello did.
Right.
I can't. I'm like, okay, he's the jackass, but this team has nothing to do with him.
Yeah,
I think even if Miyamoto got called up for some shady stuff or whatever, at that point I'm like,
wearing shirts that we can't buy.
I'm like, so if he's out here like, oh yeah, I'm touching all the little girls kind of situation, like, okay, that's cringe. He's canceled now. However, there's a whole bunch of new guys in Nintendo that's making good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got Monolith over here that's a whole ass studio, and they're making great stuff. So I'm not ignoring them. Retro, they've been for the longest time have been, holding the torch as far as they're pretty much the only American developer under the Nintendo studio anymore. Yeah, like they're pretty much the only ones left that are wholly owned by them. So it's like it's such a give and take with that, and social aspects versus you being a customer are two completely different things, because you have, even outside of gaming, you got individuals that are, because of their political reasons, they're avoiding this thing, even though it completely contrasts and contradicts their own personal interest. Like if you do nothing but run in Nike shoes and now you don't like Nike, what do you do? And if you like, hey, well, I'm gonna boycott all their stuff. Well, now all your runs are gonna be bad. Now, now you got to figure out how you're gonna do your entire wardrobe. That kind of stuff is just, it's just one of those situations that you got to pick and you got to choose. Like, how bad do you really believe in this?
Right.
And I'm not saying that, because obviously the allegations are really serious, and that's not something to be played with. However, that's not something that you could take as a stamp and apply across the board to every single person. Just because, I live next door to somebody that committed a murder doesn't mean I'm an accessory. So
exactly.
You got to be able to separate the two and then go from there. And I think that's the nuance that, unfortunately, political Twitter will never get. That's, and I hate to say it, Black Twitter will never get. That gaming Twitter will never get. It's just copy and paste. Everybody die. Like
look. Can we be for real about Black Twitter? Black Twitter is like a black movie theater. You don't go there for seriousness. You go there for the commentary.
Yeah, you go there for the commentary, and you go
to the and laugh. That's what you're there for. If you don't find something funny on Black Twitter, I don't know what to tell you.
And just like a black movie theater, you go in there and you're like, you actually bought stuff from the concession stand?
Yeah, basically. Like you
brought blacks in here. What are you doing?
Right. You go to a black movie theater, you see people with a half slab of ribs, some greens, some fried chicken. Like,
you're supposed to bring leftovers, homeboy.
How'd you get that in here? Man, you see all these big purses in here?
Exactly.
Who got a sweet tea? Who got a sweet tea?
A person like an entire stroller. Like, what are we doing?
And the manager knows, and he's in there getting a plate too. So especially after church on Sunday.
Right.
You gonna get fed if you go to a black theater. I'm just saying.
Yeah, people got to learn how to separate it though, for sure. Because it's just it gets worse before it gets better in that regard. Because honestly, think about it. Imagine if, like you said, your Xenoblade creator does something crazy. You're not putting out an entire series.
No,
you're not doing it because it wasn't a one-man show. But I think one of the biggest issues that I know I have conversations with a lot of times, a lot of people don't do the research on who is who. So it's about the face. So for the longest, all of Nintendo's issues were pinned on Reggie. But Reggie does none of that. Reggie is the face.
He was literally a mouthpiece.
Right. And that's the thing. When people don't know who to go after, they just go after the face. Yeah. And that's what makes it super weird. It really does.
The issue with Activision was them fools took pictures of themselves, so they had a whole bunch of faces.
They set themselves up big time with that. But to me, it kind of, not to kind of stereotype, but if you look at those type of games, it's got to be a dude bro community.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Mhm.
of course, it's gonna come with the territory.
Yeah.
Because I don't know any people that's like, yo, we're just gonna keep making Call of Duty over and over again, and we are just very wholesome individuals.
No.
I just don't see that happening. But I mean, it could happen, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, it didn't surprise me, is what I'm trying to get across. It really didn't. I mean, you think about that scene, and for anybody that's a vet, everything that we saw with Activision, that's infantry. Like it's very dude bro mentality, and they do a lot of wild stuff off camera, off site. So it's just that's why it didn't surprise me. But it's just it comes along with the territory.
Well, that's the thing. Like, are we really gonna pretend like we surprised at this point? Have people not been paying attention to the last not even 15 years, 10 years?
Like I'm saying before before they even did a Call of Duty, like
Mhm.
in the old Activision days, like I'm saying, like 3DO days when they're trying to figure out where they're gonna go next, kind of situation. Bobby Kotick was an ass. Like I don't even know how else to say it, but bro, he's like profit first, screw everybody else later. I'm gonna tell these customers one thing and sell them something else. Like it's always been that way with him. So I don't know why people are brand new
Right.
with regard to him as an individual. Now, as far as the company as a whole, that's different because you're talking about thousands of people, man, and they got jobs, they got families, like. You know, and you know, say what you will. I mean, do what you want with your money. I'm not money watching. I'm not pocket watching anybody. If you're saying, you know, screw this, I'm not supporting them no more. Cool. But I'm letting you know that, you know, people out here are working on these games, and a lot of these people leave these studios and then go produce other stuff. So if they end up getting a bad rap here, like that's a potential developer that could have went to another studio to make something great that didn't, because they got a bad influence and they're like, oh, this is all bad, I quit, now I'm gonna go back to law school, and now you never get the game that they were gonna make. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. So it, you know, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like Left Field Studios is gone. Like they'll never be back again. And all the games that they were working on, you know, I mean, I guess, you know, Nintendo at the time, Wii was doing whatever it was doing, and they disappeared, man. It was a lot of decent baseball games back then, and some other like good North American stuff that we were going to be seeing from them that we never got to see the light of day on. So, you pick your poisons.
All right, exactly. So, what Dark Void? What happened to Doug Bowser? What are they talking about now?
I forgot what it was. I was sitting there trying to look and see if I could find it.
Did he do something recently? I know he kind of both sides it and said, "Yeah, we don't support this." However, whatever.
Well, that's what he has to say.
That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he can't come out and just that. And I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Sometimes I think people don't understand how business works. You can't just straight up say. Because even Phil Spencer, much people love Phil Spencer. He said they were reevaluating. He ain't saying he was getting rid of them.
No. Because tomorrow a brand new Call of Duty game could be amazing, and now it's only exclusive to PC because neither one of these consoles are like you can't publish it, and so now it's only on PC and it's selling like crazy, and they missed out on it.
Yeah, they're not finna do that. And once again, Shadow, me and you know this. Microsoft CEO is looking for an excuse.
Oh, of course.
He's waiting for you to slip up.
Yeah,
he's like, Xbox, can you die today? You die today. You need you to die today because everybody needs to go to Azure. Like,
So I mean, bro, it's one of those situations where I think it's corporate speak is gonna be corporate speak, but at the end of the day, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, they're not gonna outright say oh, we're done with them. They're not gonna outright say that. They're not gonna outright say that. What they'll say is we're gonna be reevaluating our contracts and our positions with them. But I will promise you, a couple of contracts is gonna not be touched.
Right.
Call of Duty exclusives will not be touched.
No,
they're not gonna be touched because that's Call of Duty and Microsoft is they go together like, you know, peanut butter and jelly. They're not gonna go. Microsoft's not getting rid of them.
No,
they're not.
They're built on that.
Best selling third-party game on the platform. So
so they're not gonna get rid of them. As much as I think Microsoft has all these new studios that they done bought. They are never getting rid of Activision.
No, I mean,
They're
unless somebody can figure out the formula to match,
to
because you're not
match
gonna
it.
beat. You just can only match or to get close to Call of Duty. It's just not gonna happen.
Can I just talk about this though? Why is it that everybody fears Nintendo's competition and they don't want to put their games on their platform? But Call of Duty does so well on the same platform where Halo does really well.
Right.
Well,
like, can we like address that real quick? Because Halo Infinite is great, and Call of Duty will still do good on that platform.
Because Halo ain't coming out every year.
True.
Call of Duty's coming out every year. Halo is coming out once, maybe twice a generation. Twice if the generation is long.
But that makes it even more of an issue, considering the fact that there's nothing on Nintendo to compete with Call of Duty.
Yeah,
so there's
Doom is not the same type of shooter. No. So it's like,
and that just got there though. But I'm just saying, like, from when you talk about longevity, like Call of Duty has been on a Nintendo platform before, but as of the Switch, even in the first 2-3 years, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that because of, and we all know why. I mean, industry bias, one, and two, they were waiting for the Switch to sell, because the big thing from third parties with the Switch was, well, the Wii U didn't sell well, like y'all didn't have no say so in that.
Like y'all didn't put down on it, like come on, so
y'all
trying to kill that thing.
Dude, one of the best Call of Duties is on the Wii.
Black Ops 2 on Wii U.
Really well, I'm talking about
Black Ops 1 on Wii was good.
Black Ops 1 on Wii with Zapper support.
Yeah,
you gonna tell me it wasn't nobody having fun? Come on, man.
And Modern Warfare 3 was on
Modern Warfare
Wii 3.
As well. I'm like, they had some stuff that sold. So I mean, and the other thing too, so if I'm Activision, right, and I put out a Call of Duty game, but and we normally put out Call of Duty in November, right? If Nintendo plans to put Pokemon Arceus Legends in November, I'm not making any money on that platform.
Just go ahead and put it in December at that point and keep it.
So it's that. Now with Call of Duty and Halo, I'm like, it depends, because some people like more realism. Some people like me, I like Halo's lore and the exaggerated future sci-fi stuff, because I'm a sci-fi fan.
Right.
Star Wars, Star Trek fan here. So I like both of that. Some people, they like the more realistic dude broishness. I couldn't get into the military, so I'm gonna live vicariously through this.
Yeah. I like both if it's done well. So First to Fight was I like the realism of that one. Like, they reloaded clips accurately, you know. So that's the kind of, you know, I can get into that kind of stuff if it's done well. It just depends. It depends on, you know, the type of game it is.
See, I need unrealisticness because of the simple fact that I live in reality, so I need
exactly.
So
that's why I never understood.
You play games to escape.
I play games to escape. I don't play a video game to get back into reality. No,
let me go home and play this game that shows me how I drive home from traffic and then pay bills.
Right.
Get out of here, bro. Like,
that's why I never understood my battles. Like, we finna go play Call of Duty. We just did this. Like, go home and sit down and play something else. Jesus.
No. Okay, so Dark Boy has a question. And it's a pretty good one. So, what games are you hoping to see at the Game Awards?
Hoping to see, or we hope that's going to be nominated, which they
hoping to see.
I got one for sure.
Just say
that I thought was going to pop up earlier this year, and that was the 3D Donkey Kong. I thought for sure we was going to see that already.
But we got the 3D Kirby though.
Yeah, we did.
We might have to wait. You think?
No, not really.
You think we can do both at the same time?
Yeah. Well, what the hell is Retro working on?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I think other than Mario Kart tracks, I don't know.
No, because remember they did all that hiring, like a couple years ago. It's way more hiring. They're all not working on Metroid Prime 4. I'm sorry, they're not working.
I think they are, and I think they're also working on next generation engines as well.
Yep.
I don't think they're all working on Metroid Prime, dude.
They might not, but I think they're working on a next generation engine too, because they do use retro for engine work. And,
I do know that.
And codecs.
And it is about time. So I agree with you on that. I just don't think everybody's working on, and it didn't take that many to do Donkey Kong from the last couple games they did. So I think they are working on Donkey Kong and Metroid Prime 4 and whatever they're doing for next gen.
I'm about to say, I think it's Donkey Kong, Metroid, and then next gen Metroid, because I got a feeling it's going to be cross gen. Metroid.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
They're like, we're canceling all those games. No Donkey Kong, no Metroid, Raven Blade, guys. Y'all ready? Like,
man, that's gonna be messed up, boy. So many people
are like, what is Raven Blade?
They'll be mad as hell. Okay, y'all know I'm gonna say something Zelda related, right?
Of course.
So I'm not gonna say that. Fox, what are you looking for? What do you think
of Zelda?
No, what do you think gonna come? What games do you?
For the awards.
Yeah.
So the rumors of Bayonetta again, like I don't know about that because they've already showed it.
Yeah.
So
second trailer though, I wouldn't mind a second trailer.
Right.
Yeah, the chances are of obviously Breath of the Wild 2. To be honest with you, I think they're gonna go mainstream and they're probably gonna give more details on Splatoon 3. Just to be honest with you.
Which I'm all for.
I'm all for that. But I think that's what they're gonna do because they want more engagement, and chances are, let's just say the odds are that people that watch the Game Awards online are people that are going to be playing games online. So they're going to want to kind of cater that kind of audience to the Splatoon crowd and just say, hey guys that play online, here's this game that we have. Please play it online with your friends or what have you and go from there. So I kind of think that's kind of the fostering for it. Like, you don't want to market a whole bunch of single player games on an online award show like that. If you have the opportunity, you want to market any online stuff that you have to there. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's Switch Online announcements on there as well. Right. Just to get that engagement, because these are people that are always clicking on YouTube and whatnot anyway. So they're used to.
Well, now that Andre has said that, yes, I wanted to change mine to Nintendo Switch Online expansion and watch it immediately get downvoted, even though downvotes ain't there.
Oh yeah, and y'all saw my tweets on that, and I think somebody mentioned already. They were like watching Shadow Fox tweets is like just the greatest, and I just grab popcorn and I'm like, yeah, I try, man.
It is, and it goes on for days. Like,
I try, man, and it's crazy because I'll post something and I'm like, whatever. Like I posted it, I posted and walk away. Then I come back and I'm like, oh man, it's a lot of likes on that. Oh, people retweeted this that have thousands of followers. Like, why are these people engaged with me? Okay, cool. Obviously, I hit some nerves, so I'll address
always hit a nerve. That's why I don't even respond, because just like you, I would love to get on there, put my comment, and go away. But apparently, people like to come back and say stupid stuff, and then I have to say things like, "Hey, this is online. We don't play that over here." Like I don't get down with that stupid stuff. Nah, I don't move like that.
Okay, so we're coming up on an hour. There's one more thing I did want to talk about before, and this came up because Sony has now talked about doing their subscription service. It's funny how everybody was mad about it's funny how everybody was mad about subscription service now, because before, remember Shadow, remember when we was at Gamers at Large? Remember when we had that, we got told off. We had a couple people tell us about ourselves because we said y'all don't want a subscription service.
Yeah.
And yes, we do. We want a subscription service because that's how it should be.
And so Nintendo does it, and
Nintendo does it. Nintendo does it. It's anti-consumer. Microsoft does it. It's fine.
Its Game Pass is great.
Game Pass is great.
You don't even own these games. It's great.
Until they saw their price about to go up. Then they got mad. Now Sony's finna do it, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I'll give Phil Spencer this because he's been transparent. That's the one thing I do like about Phil Spencer. He's been transparent because he's like, look, I know we said we're gonna give y'all backward compatibility, but to be honest, we can't even find half these licenses because you can't. So
really can't.
Some of this stuff we at our limit. So the other part of this, I do want to talk about game preservation, but that's going to probably be a whole separate podcast because I don't know how we do it now because of Iwata tried to tell y'all didn't want to listen. In 6G, he tried to tell you nobody wanted to listen to him. So with this whole subscription situation, is it truly bad or is it truly good, or is this one of those? This is just a generational thing for this generation. We should love subscription now because everybody else is doing it.
I'll put it this way: I will definitely keep my Wii U online. I will keep it around. I will be playing all those games that are transferred from my Wii on Virtual Console on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be keeping those because what I'm not going to do is be waiting for a subscription service to give me games that I already bought.
Exactly.
So I'll just go play those on that.
True preservation.
1080p and whatever. Sometimes using the gamepad, sometimes not. And be able to play those, you know, whenever or however, versus waiting on a subscription service from Sony or whoever else to play this kind of stuff. So I
don't know. I don't even know how this is going to work because a lot of those a lot of PS2 games were third party.
Yep.
That's why I try to explain to people.
And so you saw some of the remakes, like it's to the point where, like, even with the GTA Definitive Edition, like, are you getting that complete game because they don't have the rights to all those songs anymore?
No.
And like Dead or Alive, like Microsoft had to pay a grip of money with Tecmo just to put the Dead or Alive games back on there because of the songs on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
They didn't have the rights to them anymore, so they had to pay for
them.
Yeah.
And that's what's that in like trying to find who owns what license, because once again, when the 7th gen started and we went HD, a lot of those
second party studios died. A lot of AAA, AA studios died.
Yeah.
And a lot of those licenses, nobody knows where they are.
Yeah. And like I said, I liken it to like the music. Like you sample something, you think, okay, well, Sony owns it. No, it's some random dude in Korea somewhere that got it. And it's a pain in the behind because you use 2 seconds. So I can only imagine what this is going to be. But for me, I think as far as subscription, I think this is a perfect fit for Microsoft because they're capable of doing it. Yeah. It's about the only way they're going to get any type of attention for real because Japan don't deal with them like that. Yeah. And then, I mean, it's just really a way for them to get off into a good step and stay in gaming. But this is what we talked about a while back. Nintendo, we know what their future looks like. We know what Xbox future looks like. Nobody knows what PlayStation's future looks like. Because even as long
as they have Marvel Spider-Man, their future's gonna be fine. Their future's gonna be fine.
Well, Disney eventually is gonna take that away. So what do we have?
Yeah, eventually.
But that's Sony's problem right now. Because just like you said, even if Sony shows up with a Game Pass like service, a lot of the games you remember were just exclusive to those consoles, but they're not exclusive games.
Yep.
So that's the problem with Sony. They don't hold on to the IPs. They just keep on moving. And then for the ones that we remember, like your Kingdom Hearts, you remember your Legend of the Dragoons, all that stuff.
That's what Andre said. A lot of their exclusives were third party. So they can't really, they don't own any of that stuff.
Like, y'all love Tekken 3?
Yeah. They don't belong to
Tekken Bowl, my G. And then you had FMVs in there that belong to other people. Because some of that stuff, they had like live action, like nature footage that Namco doesn't own. Like, how do you even some of that? So now you got pieces of a game that are gone. Like I watched the review of because obviously it's my favorite game of all time. The Killer Instinct Arcade 1-Up, right? And I'm like, so they really had to go back and redo the entire intros because at the time, both Midway, Microsoft, and Rare were involved. So Midway was like, yeah, we're battling Midway, and if you make an arcade cabinet, you got to go through us. And Nintendo's like, well, we're spending all this money to make sure Rare can publish this game to these arcade machines, so our name's going to be on it. And Rare's like, well, we made the game, so therefore we're gonna, you know. And then you got independent people inside of Rare, like the lads, that are like, we put audio in this game, and this is our soundtrack. And Robin Beelan, like, these are my vocals, and these are my sound effects. So it's like 20 years later, is that even really doable? And then now you got people reaching out to recreate code because it was one of the first arcade games using a hard drive, and it's really rare then at the time. You know, pun intended. But so now you got to recode how it's going to be emulated. And in addition to that, make sure the soundtrack works well and is authentic, because that means you got to reach back now and go get these guys that were playing around in the garage making some songs to go back and make a soundtrack again, or to make sure that they're cleared to use it so they don't get sued. So it's just
because they will get sued.
Yes, because it wasn't on the Killer Instinct remake on Xbox, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it wasn't.
They had to go through some trouble
because a lot of their tracks are missing. A lot of them are missing.
Yeah,
like the only way, because like because y'all know I make a joke about the whole Tusk Conan track.
Yes, it's a great soundtrack.
But they couldn't put it. They couldn't bring it. They just couldn't do it. because I think they don't know where it is because I don't because the last I read about it, like they couldn't. The person who actually did it wasn't on the actual team.
Yeah.
They had outsourced it.
Wow, that
So
just
I'm
makes
like,
it worse.
Okay,
But this
And, like,
circles
so-
right back to what you were saying, Jay, in the beginning. You have to understand the business.
this is you gotta
So
understand.
while we would love preservation, we would love everything to come back as it was, and sometimes even have it remade. Just the small little things that you don't know about, the fine details in the back will stop you from getting your game the way you want it.
The only way game preservation honestly is going to work is if the company did the whole thing themselves. And right now, there's only two companies that have games that's like that. It's Sega and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because they the ones that had their exclusive, kept their because Sega still owns Sonic and still owns some other stuff. Nintendo still owns the majority of their first one. So if they want to bring something, they can. That shouldn't be a problem.
I guess the thing is, I think Nintendo has the power of the fans as well, because for whatever reason, people are out here like, well, we can't just hack your ROM because then you'll sue us. So what we'll do is we'll take all your code, spend like 2 years and decompile it. And if we decompile it, guess what? Now it's not encrypted. There's nothing you can do about it because we decompiled the entire source. And you didn't at the time, you didn't have the copyright to the source. So we can do whatever we will with it, which is the whole Super Mario 64 kind of situation. And it's like that type of dedication, you're not
everybody ain't doing it.
Yeah, everybody's not doing it.
Everybody doing that because what they just did Ocarina of Time like a couple weeks ago.
They just did Ocarina of Time.
And that was it took them 10 years to do that?
Yeah. and since they did that, they went back and they found the original source code for the demo too. That was on the demo tapes that we watched on VHS back in the day.
Yeah.
So they had
they found the Space World thing.
The Space World.
Somebody put it up.
The Shoshinkai 1995 demo.
Oh no, it was 97. That one was a 90. The one
was it 97 or was it like?
It was a 97 demo because the 96 one was at Space World.
But the 96 one was he still had the super pointy nose, right? Wasn't that still? He
that
opened the chest and there was nothing in it. Like
the one I saw was 97. The one I saw had 97 on it.
It was one demo like you.
I know there's one from 95 because they showed it at Nintendo's space thing.
I think that was the one with the bootleg Forest Temple, and there was really nothing to fight in there except for some broken Stalfos, and then he opens the chest, and then there's nothing in the chest. But they ended the video before he actually pulled anything out, so you didn't really know that it was empty. It was just one of those, and they recreated that like I think a couple of weeks ago or whatever. So it's just amazing how they go back and get this code. But
but I'm like, this is like what 20 plus years later, and like okay, dudes, that doesn't really mean anything.
So with that preservation situation, and then you have like the whole process of how they make games being an issue because you got like Final Fantasy VIII is just like, bruh, those backgrounds we don't have because we made that in After Effects version 3. And it doesn't exist anymore. So now we got to go back.
You got to recreate the whole game.
Yeah.
Essentially. Jeez. That's why I was like, I understand game preservation, but some of this stuff, like, just
not possible.
At this point, if you really want to do it, just do a remake.
Yeah.
Or keep your product because I mean that's from the consumer side at least.
From the consumer side, they do, but I think people just think that it's out on SNES, so you should be able to do it. Just do that. No,
because it's stronger. It can just move open.
It doesn't work like that. Have you ever tried to play N64 on a 75-inch Vizio?
Yeah, it don't. It's not going to look that good. So, speaking as someone who has one of those sets,
even with an HDMI converter, I'm one of them too. Even with the HDMI converter, Gauntlet Legends does not look good. I'm telling you right now. Neither does Jet Force Gemini. Neither does Perfect Dark. Neither does Ocarina of Time. Neither does Super Mario 64. None of that stuff looks good.
Even GameCube. Like I told you, I was playing Eternal Darkness, and now you can start seeing the seams aren't lining up on polygonal surfaces because it was designed for 480i. And now you're playing progressive scan with way more pixels on screen. It's stretched, so now you can see all these little problems, and it's just it was never designed to be seen that way.
Yeah,
so
that's why it would need a remaster at the very least.
Yeah,
the very least, you would need a remaster.
Money would come in great that way. I mean, but it's all about at this finding the appeal.
At this point, some games would benefit from a remake. Jade Empire, especially, but all of them won't.
Jade Empire. Oh, yeah.
Jade Empire would. Eternal Darkness definitely would.
I gotta stream that game. I need to go ahead and stream Jade Empire.
Wave Race would.
Yeah.
Wave
honestly, race. I don't know what happened to the whole extreme sports scene. I mean, I understand that they followed the crowd at that time, but I mean, extreme sports are still around. So I mean, I'm pretty sure people would still fall in love with that arcade aspect of it.
Yeah, but
didn't the Tony Hawk remakes do good? Didn't Tony Hawk 1 and 2 do good?
Yeah, they did good.
So it's still there.
Even though they didn't have Venom or Darth Maul.
Yeah.
License
issue.
Yeah. But yeah, and Wilson, you're right. Some of them do, like Wind Waker does, is one of them that actually holds up really well.
I like Sunshine. It's good.
Twilight Princess kind of. Sunshine does. Melee really does.
Yep.
But then again, it's Sakurai. What do you expect?
Hey,
the man makes magic. The man just makes magic. Extreme G, the Extreme G game on GameCube actually holds up really well too on bigger screens.
Burnout,
Burnout. Metroid Prime does too.
Yeah, the first one. I didn't like how the second one looked on it, but the first one does. So especially on the Phendrana Drifts, the ice section looks great. Star Fox Adventures, another one. Which is why Nintendo, if you really want to do me a solid and just get people off y'all back and get y'all likes up, GameCube online as part of the expansion pack, please.
I'm telling you, that's not
going
to happen.
It's coming. I think it's coming.
Dude, I have 3 GameCube controllers. Let a brother dream.
I'm gonna let you dream, but what I think is, though, that's gonna be where 64 is going to be their stopping point before they start putting stuff on cartridge at this point.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to be buttholes like they are for N64 and require you to buy a separate GameCube controller that's USB that plugs into Switch or that's wireless?
I mean, we already got it, but we already got the GameCube controller. That
I mean,
they're gonna drop another one though.
But
wireless.
They don't want you to use the Wii U adapter or the Switch adapter with 4 ports. Like they want you to buy a separate controller.
Powerade did it though, because they have Powerade licensed out to make those. The
one that fit into
so
GameCube.
Will Nintendo accept that HID profile though? Because they could block it. Like, so I have this guy right here, and the amount of work I had to do to get this original controller to work with Switch is freaking crazy. I had to emulate a Xbox controller.
That's why I pre-ordered this.
Yeah,
that's why I pre-ordered this.
Bro, that's like $200 right now.
Hey, that's why I went to Nintendo Online and did that. That's why I did that.
Jay, it's time to tuck your chain. Debo's in the chats. Yeah, go ahead and tuck. Hi, Vicky.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus, here we go.
Debo's
here we go. Snatching chain.
I know. Melon and Debo.
On that note, let me just go ahead and hydrate so I can go ahead and accept all the things that are coming in. Maybe that'll offset the alcohol for
today. Doc Void, it would be smart if they did. Yeah. At this point, Nintendo has known for the past 2 generations people want GameCube. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm not gonna sit here and cap and pretend like, oh, Nintendo, they're just waiting for no. You done gave us 2 separate systems with GameCube controllers and ports to do it on. You've actually made it where multiple games can actually be played with the GameCube controller. Didn't tell nobody, by the way.
You know what the big thing is, right? All people want to do is play Melee online. That's all people want to do.
Yeah, that's
you just say, hey, we have GameCube online and we have Melee. That's it.
But here's the funny thing about it. You know, Sakurai's gonna. I would love to see when they do it, have Sakurai come on and just tell everybody he fixed all the bugs. If he did that, that would be so funny.
He's like, oh, Wade dashing? Oh no, that's Guy.
Oh, that's Guy. Let's go.
Let's
go. And you know his trolling behind would do it.
Yeah.
He would do it.
We put tripping in too.
Yeah, we put tripping in for Brawl. Just to mess with people.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But if you're gonna do this GameCube thing, I would say 1 or 2 ways. I would say every game needs to be crowdfunded, or you have a separate service to where while you pay for it, that's where the funding is coming from for them to keep putting these GameCube games out there. And they have, to me, I feel like they have to clean them up. I'm not gonna accept how they did Mario 3D All-Stars. I'm not going to accept it that way. You got to do more to modernize those games. And that's just what it is.
There's only 2 games on the GameCube that's outside of Nintendo that I actually want, and one of them is because Namco bet I was being some pricks and didn't put it on the freaking damn Wii U when they did it for everybody else. Yes, I'm calling out some pricks. No, Soul Calibur 2 online.
Facts.
Screw y'all for that. But I would want that one. And Skies of Arcadia Legends, man. Come on, man.
What is up with that game? I'm starting to think that Sega don't own it anymore. I'm highly convinced.
I don't think they do.
Something tells me they lost it.
Probably
I did it, Vicky. Damn, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I did it too. Like, I think it has to be. It's got to be synchronous. I think so.
I guess
maybe that's what.
God dang,
that's killing me out here.
Just tripping, man. Look,
running the whole show. But they put Phantasy Star there, so.
But I mean, that's the only 2 that I would actually want them to do if I could have my way. I would want them to put Skies of Arcadia and Soul Calibur 2. Everybody know Link was the best. That's why I don't even know. I know why they didn't put it on, because I'm like, you could have put it on Wii U and Switch. You could have.
It's the same reason why you won't see Call of Duty, because it will outsell the consoles that they need to sell best on.
Yeah,
and so that wasn't, unfortunately, that wasn't a stab at Nintendo fans. That was just like, they asked us to do this. Microsoft and Sony asked us to do this.
They paid for it.
We cannot put out the Nintendo version because we know what's going to happen. If you put out Soul Calibur 2,
I'm playing with Link and I'm waxing all y'all.
Exactly. And nobody wants that, because
nobody wants that smoke.
No, nobody wants that smoke. Number one, and then those 3 versions were never compatible anyway.
Right. So
all it would do is just like, well, the majority of people bought it for the quote unquote GameCube version or what have you, and now the Xbox and the PS2 versions don't sell well. And Sony and Microsoft paid, and Nintendo didn't.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it was facts. Because like the funny thing about it, Nintendo was the small, didn't sell. I think GameCube was 21 mil.
Right. Yeah.
And they sold like 5 million more copies of Soul Calibur.
Yep.
I never forget that Melee outsold Halo.
Yep.
That is nuts.
That's ridiculous, but
never
it
forget.
Nuts, man.
It did. I'm saying, like, Nintendo's main stuff, don't nobody want to smoke with them. You're not gonna find nobody gonna put a game out when Pokemon drops, when Zelda, especially over here in the States, when Zelda drops, when Mario drops.
Y'all realize that's next month?
Hold on. I want to say that again. I want to put emphasis on that. Melee outsold Halo when the entire industry was against them, when all the marketing was against them, when it was unpopular to own a GameCube.
It was a purple lunchbox.
Melee outsold Halo. I want you to marinate on that.
Yep.
Now Switch is the most popular console. Can't nobody really say nothing bad about it. They try to, but they can't.
Try to.
Well, I mean, Microsoft ain't gonna say nothing bad about it because Phil Spencer be playing Smash Brothers online with everybody, so he can't. He be playing Smash Brothers online and Tetris 99. he can't say nothing bad about it.
When your own indie studios that try to work with you is just like, can we make a Switch version? And they're like, Microsoft was like, well, I guess we kind of gotta.
Shuhei Yoshida done embarrassed people on IGN multiple times because he has Nintendo consoles.
He's like, I own 2 Wii U's. Why don't you? And he's like, but the Wii U isn't. It doesn't work well. It doesn't work.
Fanboys?
Are you
fanboys?
You're fanboy, bro. You don't have a Wii U to go with your PS4.
I mean, he made it a badge of honor to get kicked off and get banned on Miiverse because and use his other Wii U to get back on Miiverse.
Yep.
Yoshida's the man. I love that dude. He's
awesome. And that was it Not So Funny Games? That's what I'm gonna call them now.
Yeah.
Not So Funny Games on
I thought that was hilarious because I'm like, you saw the exact moment when his heart broke.
Yeah. He was just like, you're gonna ride with me in this hatred of Nintendo, right? And he's like, nah,
dude. Have you not forgot? Do you not know I'm Japanese?
Right.
Like, I don't subscribe to that BS.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I get it, and Shadow, you are right. There is but the industry bias has been obvious. Now, does Nintendo do stuff to not help their situation? Sometimes.
Wii U marketing was really bad.
Sometimes they don't help their situation. But the other thing too is people don't want to admit that the gaming industry was trying to get Nintendo to go third party like Sega.
Correct.
The problem was Nintendo actually had money had cash, not assets, straight up cash on hand, and they weren't giving third parties blank checks. If you would have gave EA a blank check, you would have gave Activision a blank check. You think for 1 second they want to put stuff on Wii U? You're out of your mind.
Look, think about it. Bill Gates had the opportunity to buy Nintendo, and
they laughed him out. And they laughed him out
in
of
2000. Yeah, in 2000. So by 2006, Nintendo had $8 billion in cash.
And now so they're like
really
12.
Think you can break them after Wii sold as well as it did, and then Wii U comes out and it's still profitable. Yep. So how do you even say, oh, it failed, so therefore blah blah blah? I'm like, but every console they sold, they made money on,
including
and they sold Amiibo on top of it. So
which all third parties wanted to try to get an Amiibo out for some reason, and people forget there weren't two Nintendos. The 3DS and the DS were part of the Nintendo, so those sales didn't go anywhere.
Right.
So I'm like, there wasn't Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Wii U companies. They were all the same company.
And we're with you, chat. We also want Miiverse back, but that was one of those things where I missed. It was sitting on GameSpy, and GameSpy had to go, so Miiverse had to go, and Nintendo had to start over with DNA. So unless Nintendo goes back to the drawing board and decides to rebuild with their new partners, Akamai and unfortunately Microsoft and everybody else, they can. I mean, they're still working with Amazon too, because a lot of their stuff is still on CloudFront. So maybe in the future they could do it.
I think when they go to Azure, they probably are. Because
that's going to happen at some point.
Oh
they've already them and Sony will be getting off of Amazon soon.
I think Amazon all the platforms are, because how are you going to develop games at this point? I think all third-party developers are going to use Azure because you're going to sign into the domain and see what you have for your company across the world or whatever, and everybody signs in and works together. Especially with this whole COVID thing, everybody's working remote.
Oh yeah, you kind of have to at this point.
Yeah, because I think one of the main reasons Amazon is pissed off right now because they know they're losing two of their biggest ones.
Yep,
Nintendo and Sony, they're losing them.
Amazon doesn't own domains. That's their only problem. They have cloud, but they don't have domains. Microsoft is like, we got both.
Google and Microsoft owns domains. Actually, Google and Microsoft owns domains.
Yep.
Does Apple own domains? I don't think they do.
No, they just lease. They lease from Amazon as well.
So Google and
Amazon and Microsoft for their store.
Google and Microsoft are the only one that owns domains, from what I understand. So that's why I was like, they're supposed to be getting off soon, and I'm like, I know Amazon ain't happy about it.
No.
So expect your Amazon Prime to go up.
I don't even pay for that.
The only thing they could do is sell application packages. So, like, if you have a really big database or something like that, you don't have to store that on Azure. You can use a third party. Like, if Amazon has a competitive price or something, you can store all that data there. And that's probably where Amazon would make the majority of their money. But they're not going to get the majority. I think the way going forward, especially with all the remote work stuff kicking in, is going to be all Microsoft probably.
Right.
Like,
and that makes better sense, because especially from a security standpoint, because you already know what you're going to do. And being 100% fair, Microsoft, when they have a security breach, is fixed in 24 hours.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You're back up 48 at the latest. So
just to address Wilson in the chat there, he was talking about achievements and upload a screenshot so you can see where they are in the game. You could do that and add a custom achievement to it too.
Yep.
So you say, hey, look, this is my custom achievement because I did this thing, and you see a screenshot and people can comment on it. So that was a great thing. I think they took them away like right towards the end of Miiverse. I think it was a very last year of Miiverse, right before they shut it down. They took them away
because they were telling people at that point. They were telling people going, if you wanted to save your screen grabs, you had to go in and do all that stuff to save it, and that's when they took that out. But Miiverse is the one thing I wish they would bring back. Look, I know a lot of this stuff that I like was Iwata centric, and I know they're probably trying to. I don't know if they're trying to get away from that. That's why we don't get as many directs as we used to get. Because, by now we would have had like 6 directs and 5 of them would have been developer focused.
Yeah,
game
and
focused.
I get the reasoning from the Nintendo execs at the top. They're just like, well, we're Nintendo, we can't outdo Twitter and Facebook or what have you,
right?
Like, but you're not trying.
So they're just like, we'll just forward stuff on Switch to those social media platforms. But I'm like, Miiverse was still kind of its own special thing though, because you have basically environment only type of interaction. And then if you wanted to, you could share that to other platforms after that as well. So I still think Miiverse could have been a really good go-between.
I still think they should do it. They should do it.
You can go and chat with other Nintendo gamers, what have you. Nobody can lie to you and say that they've played a game that they haven't played kind of situation, because you have the little check mark there or whatever to say you played the game for certain communities. And then whatever you do in that community can be shared to social media. So
and the funny thing about it is, like, developers was in there all the time getting feedback. In there all the time.
And that's a good thing. I feel like we should have something separate in regards to social media for gaming. Like Twitter is cool, Facebook, and then Instagram from time to time with certain things you can post. But if you had something dedicated to just gaming and that's all that it was about, then that'd be perfect. And Nintendo was on to something.
And I think if Nintendo wanted to, they could actually bring that back, and that's how you could do your live streams via Miiverse.
Yeah,
I think that especially with the way they have it going now, if they take the servers that they have dedicated for Nintendo Switch Online, the voice app and the parental control stuff, and they roll all that in together into one service, they could massively outdo what Microsoft is doing. Because if you look at, a lot of people want to say, oh, well, I hate the voice chat. Well, I got to use a separate blah, 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 even though your phone is right there next to you while you're watching this podcast right now.
Right now. Right damn now.
It's hilarious when you think about it. But if they take all of that and just say, hey, look, we have all this rolled into one, and all the voice chat that you have right now, press a button, you can record 5 seconds of it and upload it to Twitter, or whatever kind of interaction you're having. So you're talking on the voice chat app and you're recording video, so you can take your voice chat messages that you're talking while you're playing the game or what have you, along with the video that you screen grab, and upload all that at one time. And so you have that inside of the new Miiverse, if you will, and you can share that as a post, and then you can take that and share it elsewhere on social media if you want. That could be a thing, because they could put all that together. And I mean, all the pieces are there. They just have to put it all together in one place.
Right.
So,
do you think that's one of the things they're probably trying to work on?
I wouldn't doubt it. I think right now at this
point,
it's
too good of a situation to like. I'm sorry. That's just too good of a program, too good of a site, too good of a application that just to throw away.
I think for that to work though, and to be completely honest, they're going to have to open it up to where Microsoft and Sony can join. They're going to have to open to where this is all around gaming.
That
thing,
would actually be good.
But it's coming from Nintendo and possibly using Microsoft's services. So it's just a joint venture.
And do like Microsoft would do, take 10% off top.
There you go. There you go.
And then both Microsoft and Nintendo look at Sony like, well, we got cross-platform chat and play.
And what are you gonna do?
We got
from a social media aspect. So we're pretty much creating an app that not only you're on your phone, it helps you jump in, because PlayStation was doing that for a minute to where you can jump in from your phone and all that good stuff. I don't know if they still do it, but to have one go-to. Like Wilton's mentioning WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is kind of in America.
To gaming. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not dedicated to gaming, because I know a bunch of people overseas that use WhatsApp. That's why they kind of look at iMessage in a weird way, or the way that we honor it here. But when it comes down to just game centric, to where no matter what I'm on, and I have all my platforms connected with PSN, Xbox, and Nintendo, when I get that notification, it's going to jump me into whatever game or whatever accomplishments, whatever achievements, whatever you want to call it, it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So Playverse.
Yeah.
But with the trademark, he put a giant trademark on
it. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. I like that. I actually like that. All right, people. So we're gonna end it. We're gonna end the podcast here. Don't forget Thursday, our annual roast session will be live. Check out if you follow me on Twitter, I'll let you guys know when we're gonna start Wednesday. So check out Twitter, check out my Discord on Wednesday to find out when we're going to be starting. Like I said at the beginning, we're going to have people rotating in and out. So if you would like to join in the shenanigans for a little bit, because you just want to hang out with us for a little bit, just let me know, and I'll reach out to you and see about getting you guys in. Other than that, Shadow, got anything you want to pimp out?
So I'll address the comment that G-Win just put in there talking about activity on the NSO app. So that already exists in America. It's on the parental app. You can see everything that happened on the Switch that you register on the parental controls app. That's why I say it's so powerful. A lot of people are not understanding when you start talking about, hey, well, we got an online infrastructure, blah blah blah, and everything that you do on your console is tracked, blah blah blah. Like that parental control app is very, very nuclear.
My kids hate it.
Yeah, I mean, you can program that thing down to the hour and amount they could play, what game they could play, how long they could play that game. Like you can involve multiple switches, register multiple switches, and have them have different profiles. It's amazing, man. So with them having that kind of control, you obviously know how long they play, you know what activities they're doing, how long they watch YouTube on it, all that kind of stuff is on there already. So I know they probably rolled it into just the basic app on in Japan already, but it's already been a thing here for the parental controls app, and that's they did a whole video on it showing Bowser with his son or whatever, trying to show how it works. They did a really good job with that, and I think they don't get credit enough for that. And people constantly trashing Nintendo's online when they have that locked down. Like it's not.
That's
I
why
don't
they
think
trash.
There's nothing anything close to that kind of management on any other platform.
That's why they trashing it. They don't understand it. But that's that.
But other than that, no, nothing. This 44-minute video, I'm still in the process of editing. There's a lot of Wireshark videos and stuff that I have to deal with. So it'll be coming whenever it comes. So bear with me. I'll upload it sometime in the quarter of February, and then it'll go up, and then maybe I'll stream after that or do another video. There's a bunch of short form videos I want to do after that. So other than that, do you play games to have fun and to impress other people? Also, Tom Brady sucks.
all right, Jack. What you got, man?
Pretty much all I have right now is just kind of making suggestions as far as like what I was able to pick up during Black Friday. Guardians of the Galaxy is actually pretty good.
Okay.
I'm actually enjoying that game. I took a plunge on nostalgia. I just can't get into Tony Hawk. I can't do it. And then I sat down and I had a conversation with my cousin. I was like, what was it about this game that we had so much fun with? He's like, we used all the cheat codes. I said, yeah, that's right. So we didn't really play through. We just used the cheat codes. But I mean, I was able to pick up some like good deals. And it looks like Amazon has like Shin Megami Tensei 5 Steelbook for like $35 right now.
Yeah, 35 to 40, depending on where you go.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say just try to pick up some new games and see what you like. I'm batting 1,000 right now. Riders Republic is actually pretty freaking good. I mean, outside like when I first booted it up, I went to my first mission and I went through the floor. But after that, it was good. I have a feeling you're going to catch bugs with games like that. But I mean, the control scheme, to where you could either use the steep control scheme, you can use the button control scheme, or you can use the right stick. I mean, it's an impressive game for what it is that they're offering. And me dancing between that and Forza 5, those are some amazing games. Like I've spent more time than I ever imagined in Forza 5. Like
I'm going to need time, because if I play Forza 5, that means I have to go ahead and play Burnout Paradise as well, and that's going to be a lot of time of just driving. And I don't know how I'm going to deal with that.
I like the missions in Forza 5 because they don't focus it so much on racing.
Okay.
So that's what I liked about it, just doing silly stuff within Forza. But it's pretty cool. But I mean, I think the next game I might pick up, because it's so cheap, is this Sonic Colors Ultimate. It's like $14 for the Series X. So I might try it, even though I heard some.
It's been patched, right? I think
it's been patched.
As far as I know.
Yeah, it's been patched twice. I have it on.
Okay.
It's been patched twice. I will say this about Forza 5: the only reason why I would play it is to wreck a Bugatti. But
it's possible. Trust me, it is possible.
You can wreck one. You damn sure can.
And I would feel nothing about it because I don't own that car. I'm gonna probably live stream some Xenoblade Torn of the Golden Country tomorrow, just because I meant to do it on the anniversary, and I got busy being an adult, which God, I hate being an adult.
Man, it sucks, bro.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow, around 3 or 4. Just do an hour of gameplay, because I was doing my second run through Torna. So, yeah. There's going to be that. And then there's our Thursday Alcoholics Anonymous roast.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay, we're going to go with that. All right.
I'll definitely be drinking shots for sure.
But yeah. And don't forget, Sandstorm is going to be having his podcast on the 10th. So please don't forget that. Like I said earlier in the podcast, it's going to be a pretty good guest list for that. So please stop by and make sure you follow and subscribe to his channel as well. Other than that, we will see you guys on Thursday and possibly on Friday and on next Sunday.
One more thing for the room. Little housekeeping. Man, y'all follow these boys on Twitter, man. Follow them on Twitter, follow them on YouTube as well, and sub to their channels, man. Like y'all do that because y'all follow me and y'all see me doing stuff or whatever, and y'all see me engage with these guys too. Y'all know I'm on this podcast, and y'all come on here and y'all see me on the podcast. Sub, bro. Yeah. So you never know when I'm gonna be on the individual interview or something with just these guys. So sub.
Yeah, because I do plan in 2022 to get back to doing that on a regular basis, because I feel like I've been letting people down, but I tell y'all, there's stuff out here in these IT streets.
It's tough.
So out here in these IT streets.
And these this banking streets is getting tough too.
So I'm gonna try to in 2022. I'm gonna try to get y'all on too. Like is at least if not one-on-one. We could do this on my channel or whatever, so I can start reintroducing you guys again, so we can get this ball rolling.
So like I said, come around Thursday, because I promise you, if our boy Yosef there,
he gotta be there. He gotta be part of the reward show every year. It's a staple now. He has to.
If Yosef there, please be drunk out your mind. So
they cut my man off easy.
So
2-shot minimum for him.
Yeah, he don't need no more. Nothing.
Well, maximum. My bad. They ain't let him get nothing else.
But we will see you guys Thursday, and hopefully it doesn't go till 1 o'clock in the morning like it did a couple years ago.
Hey, I'm with it.
Hopefully it doesn't. But I took Friday off, so I'll be with y'all all night.
Yeah, I'll be with y'all too. I have Friday off, so I'll be definitely.
I have Friday off. And I'm taking a nap Thursday after work, so
I'll sleep during work. It don't matter.
Yeah, I'll be good to go. So we will see you guys on Thursday, and then again, because I will be on Sandstorm's podcast on Friday, and I'll see you guys back here on Sunday. So peace out, peoples.
Peace.
Deuces. How long is it?